Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the newest episode of Mario Kart Wii CTGP Rate That Grand Prix, and today we are back again in full force. It has been a while since the last episode, and I do apologise. I've been working on some things, having a bit of mental struggles, but we are back again, and that's what matters at the end of the day. So, without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. Today's combination is actually quite an interesting one. We are returning with the combination of Dry Bones in the Baby Booster, which some people think is a absolutely horrid combination, and you know what, I wouldn't deny it or disagree with you. It's whack, but it's what we've been chosen by the randomization. So, today is the Spring Mushroom Cup, which consists of a lot of CTR tracks. Now, I'll admit, I haven't really played Crash Team Racing all too much, if at all, I'll be honest. So, rating these is going to be difficult. I'm going to have to rate these based upon what footage I have seen of Crash Team Racing on these tracks, which I have looked through before I started the episode, to try and be as honest as possible, while also not intruding or making anything too biased or ridiculous or off the charts. So, the way this series works, if you don't know already, is I will play through all 4 tracks in a Grand Prix style, and I will rate the tracks based upon 3 different factors: their theming, their functionality, and their replayability. Now, theming is a very interesting one, because in this episode there's going to be a lot of how well does it represent the original, because theming can't really apply if it's a track that kind of already exists in a different game. So I have to base theming on how good I think of a remaster it is and how good it looks. So, without any further ado, let's get right into today's episode, and we'll start off with CTR Blizzard Bluff. CTGP is actually recently updated, so there will be a lot of shifting around of later GPs, which is actually good for me because I haven't played through them yet. This already is looking like a good, it's looking very familiar from what I've seen. Also, apologise if I don't play the best. I haven't played Mario Kart Wii for a good while. And hey, we have some crest music to match. That corner is difficult for, of course, this vehicle. But no, that doesn't mean not knowing it's coming. If I knew that it's coming, it might be a different story. Does the shortcut still exist? Oh my god, yes it does. Even though that was a terrible example of how to do it, I did it. Those corners are actually very nice, and the road is very wide, which I do like. You know me, I like my wide roads, just to make sure that, you know, all vehicles have a decent time. Ooh, there's a shortcut over here. Let's use it. Oh god, that is so cool. Some of those are very blind, and you know what, I don't think that's a car or a bike issue. That is very cool though. Ooh, some of those tricks that you can do off of these roads is nice as well. It's a nice little thing for Mario Kart Wii. I gotta love how the Goombas have the hats as well. Of course, they can't recreate, well, it's a bit difficult to recreate some of the models for enemies to make it look more like the original track. But you gotta make it difficult somewhere, haven't you? So, I'm gonna say it's driving. It's playing out very solid. It's also a very short track, which I imagine a lot of the tracks will be today because, well, it's a scaling thing, isn't it? It's a way to scale these tracks. But that's not a complaint. Yeah, I'm actually having a solid time. That's a fib. That doesn't help me. These roads are very good for kart snaking as well. I think I mentioned. Snaking is actually going to be really good on this track. Yes! Yes! Thank you, Diddy Kong, for feeding me that free win. And that was it. That was Blizzard Bluff. So that was very quick and very short, as I probably would have expected it to be, because I believe that Blizzard Bluff is one of the like starting tracks, so it's kind of like what Luigi Circuit would be. But it's actually much harder, and it actually has some fun parts to it. So, let's get into the rating. Theming, aka how well I think it does justice to the original. Honestly, yeah. The thing is, of course, you can't make it look like the greatest Crash Team Racing game. Of course, you're working with a Wii here, you're working with different hardware, you're working with completely different systems. But the textures used are very good. The ones that it uses from Mario Kart actually make this track play out and look like the original track. And realistically, it keeps that theme, and it actually transforms it in a way, because it's using a Mario Kart. Well, it uses Mario Kart textures, but it feels like a Crash track. It definitely does. The shortcuts are very well done as well, but that comes into the next thing. So the theming is going to get a very, very solid 8. Functionality, I don't really have many issues. So the shortcuts are a bit blind, but that's the thing that both karts and bikes will have to deal with. That's not really any specific problem, and knowing more about the track will definitely get you more used to it. You'll be able to use those tricks a lot more often, and the shortcuts are very solid as well. The roads are very wide, and this is something that I can't stress enough, and I really like about it, because as much as I don't do it, and I rarely ever play karts to practice it, it makes it very good for snaking, and it's very good for snaking. It's just perfection. It's great for both karts and bikes alike, and it makes both of them have a chance on this track. Of course, some corners are a bit tight. That's just the thing about the track. That's not really anything that makes the balance be thrown out of harmony, let's say. So the functionality is a solid 9, honestly. Replayability, would I play this track again? Yeah, it'd make a solid quick race. The track doesn't really give a whole lot as in terms of like crazy stunts or crazy mechanics or crazy things. So I feel like this track could be a solid track if you want to be calm, but definitely not like if you want the excitement. It doesn't bring the wow factor. It's a very good remaster, in which the original track doesn't give you much of a wow factor compared to the other tracks in the game as well. So replayability wise, it's going to get a very solid 7. And without any further ado, let's get into the next track, which is CTR Cortex Castle. Now, another track that is based off of Crash Team Racing. Once again, it seems like it's created by the same people, so it does use the same Mario Kart theming, while also creating the same track theming. If I looked at this right now, the track looks exactly the same. Like, it looks exactly the same in the minimap as it does in Crash Team Racing. The way that that's done is actually very solid. Oh, thank you, Connor. Thank the baby booster for that one. The way that they've done that is actually really nice as well. I see that part later on. Is that a shortcut like the original game as well? Oh my god, they've actually done this part as well. Oh, the slip ramps. Okay, these are cool. These are a cool little addition. Good for on the extra speed. I think I know that. I think that part is actually trickable, and you can actually no mushroom a shortcut that. How would I wouldn't be good at it. I wouldn't be good at it. Not in this combination. That's an out of the blue cannon, but how well could they do it? It's not the same physics, so they have to do something about it. I'm digging it. I feel like it's more of a track for bikes, but the big booster isn't having too bad of a chime on it, so I can't be faulting it. This corner in particular is not the nicest. Okay, it's better now I know what was coming. I can better prepare for it. Whoa, I didn't even know I could trick that. Whoa, boy. That was interesting. I love the texture of the neocortex on the wall as well. Like the glasses. Well, it looks like glass, but it's more like the banners. That's a really cool thing. The arrows are also always a nice addition. What's interesting is while this uses Mario Kart textures, it still kind of looks more like a Crash Team Racing track than a Mario Kart track. That's quite interesting. I like that. Of course, the AI functionality isn't the best on this. It works as best it can. Ooh. I love the spider forms, by the way. I didn't point that out already. I absolutely love it. That part is so much fun. Nah, damn it. I'm already way too far ahead to really care to anyways, so... Power dodge, nice one. Nice. Okay. You know what? I do gotta say something else. That track definitely works more in a way. The timing is definitely better for that track because it's definitely 3 minutes. I'd say a good length of Mario Kart track is usually about 3 minutes. Three-ish to the 4-ish minutes. 4-ish minutes if it's a longer track, but 3 minutes is usually good. In the 3 minutes to 4 minutes, that's the good length for a track, I think. So, Cortex Castle theming. Honestly, the theming is a lot more solid on this track compared to Blizzard Bluff. The textures work out very well. The Mario Kart textures actually make it look less like a Mario Kart track, funnily enough. The added textures are always a bonus, so the way they've done the neocortex on the walls of the banners is a real cool feature. The models for the spider thwomps, I love it. I think it's amazing. And I think this track has definitely done justice for a Mario Kart remaster. So the theming is a solid 9. Functionality. I feel like Dips points in functionality over Blizzard Bluff. It's a more complicated track. It has very cool shortcuts. Not as many cool shortcuts as Blizzard Bluff has, but that's another looking thing. You can't really make more shortcuts if you want to make it a good remaster. I feel like the track's more bike-centric, but that's just my initial thoughts. Some of the corners are tight. Once again, that comes with it being a Crash Team Racing track. So the functionality is gonna have a 7 here. Replayability. Would I play this again? I think online this makes a really good track. Would I play this again? Yeah, I think I would. I think I really would. I feel like at times it doesn't get that. It wouldn't get that intense online though. It's the same thing as Blizzard Bluff. I would like to play it if I am chill about it, but I actually like it because it has a bit more to it. But anyways, the replayability still is going to get a 7. And with that, we finish up on the CTR Cortex Castle, and we'll be moving on to the Engine Labs, which is the 3rd track of the Grand Prix and the 3rd of the CTR tracks. Let's go. Oh, the barrels. Yeah, that's neat already. Ooh, these are... Ooh. Ooh. This makes me excited already, but I don't know if I'm getting excited too early or not. The overview looks exactly the same as the CTR, as you would expect, these tracks. I love these little, like, light things, the light sources on the side. Whoa. This is trippy. Oh my god. Does that have the same hitboxes as like one of the Bowser fireballs from Bowser's Castle? Because that's what I think's happened there. Ooh, that's a cool item box placing. I wonder if you get good item from that or not. I didn't drift there, that was my bad. That was my bad. I wonder if you can ride the walls. Ah, damn. My experimentation didn't exactly yield good results. That's okay. Oh, that's such a nice corner to do as well. Like, just look at this track. It's pretty. It's actually such a spectacle. Oh my god, there's so much to look at in this track. That corner is a bit annoying. Okay, doing it 3 times and failing 3 times. Yeah, that corner is definitely a pain. Oh, that was great. That was a great collision, actually. Nice. Okay. And that was Engine Labs. Timing, once again, like like Cortex Castle, very, very good, actually. So, without further ado, let's get into the ratings again. So, theming, honestly, this recreation is one of the best for textures. And I cannot lie, I think the track has been done so much justice. In the way it looks, it's very well presented, it looks really pretty, it looks absolutely amazing, it has that Crash theme to it, and you can tell it's the Crash theme. It drifts away from being a Mario Kart track and drifts more into what it is. Of course, you can't recreate shadows and shaders and epic looking graphics from, you know, any of the remastered versions, you know, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, for example. You can't exactly make it look like that. It's a Mario Kart Wii game. Mario Kart Wii track. So, for the track, the theming, 100% 10. It's a solid 10. I think it does the track so much justice, and it looks absolutely astonishing. Now, functionality. Interesting. There's parts where I give it lots of credit and parts where I don't give it so much credit. That annoying corner is a really annoying thing, but that's a problem that the track has in general. I can't change it because, well, I mean, it won't be the same track, will it? Now, but I think that affects both karts and bikes, so it still has a balance. Some of the roads are a bit thin for karts, so it's a bit iffy, but it looks, it plays out very solid. There's no chance, there's not really any point. Well, I fell off that one time because I missed the drift. There's no point. There's no reason for me to say you'd struggle in a kart. Of course, bikes will pull ahead because this is Mario Kart Wii we're talking about. But I think you might actually stand a chance who used a kart on this track. So functionality-wise, it's a solid 8. Replayability. Would I play this track again? Oh, out of the 3 that I've played so far, 100% would play it again. It's a pretty track. I think on bikes it can make an interesting run. There's some shortcuts that even I didn't discover. Some of the item boxes were placed in such a nice little spot to encourage you to use those shortcuts as well, which is really, really welcome. And I wish more tracks actually did it, so they give you an idea of where a shortcut might be that you might not even initially see or figure out. So its replayability is a very solid 9. And that is it for CTR Engine Labs. Let's go into the next track and final track, which is Daisy Hillside. Let's get into it. Not done justice by its camera angles, but not here to judge those. Ugh. This looks like a very short track. Definitely a hillside. Like, the hillside theme has definitely been... How did that hit me? Oh, it hit me from the side. Got it. The sheep is a nice little thing. Like, being able to look over from an elevated hillside is amazing too. Looks amazing. Oh, that's a cool little cannon. Ooh, so much naked opportunity right there. Can you trick those? I didn't actually try. That's a neat little cut right there. These logs are very good as well, because there's a shortcut right there that I missed as well. Could have used that, but you know what? That's actually a cool addition. It's not an OP shortcut either. It's one of those, you know, if you get away with it, you'd actually be good, you know? You reset. I should have tricked off a fountain, honestly. Yeah, no, there's too much physics. Oh, you stick to the track too much for that to actually, for that to actually be trickable. That's okay. Damn it, blue shell! Wait, I'm actually having fun. I miss this game and CTGP. But hey, Basil, hey, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? I should have honestly gone for one of the item boxes. Did I? Nah. I mean, I'll take 4th out of that, honestly. Still got me the win on the GP, easily. Easy clap. So, of course, we're gonna get right back to the menu, and then we will give the ratings for the trek. And then we will close it up, and you guys can see all of the updated stuff. Okay, so we're back in the menu, where we can give our ratings for Daisy Hillside, the last of the tracks for the Spring Mushroom Cup. So, honestly, there was a lot to the track, but also a few things to mention. Theming. Now, let's start with theming. The theming was absolutely spot on, solid. Of course, a few textures look a bit weird, stretched out, and a lot of tracks do that to, you know, cover the entirety of a part of a track that they want to cover, but isn't actually matching the resolution of the textures. It's an annoying thing that happens. The Hillside theme, great. So many things to see from the hillside, especially when you're racing across it and you can see the bottom, the cannon, oh my god, the balloons you can see as well. Absolutely solid and amazing. And for that, the theming for a original track, because I can't actually base it off of an existing track, so we have to actually base it off of a completely new track that we've not played before, so we have to do theming as if it's an original track, so I don't have to do any justice. Talk about just doing justice. So theming for this track is going to get a solid 9 for original track. It's a very solid track, theming wise, and it looks absolutely astonishing. Functionality. I really don't have an issue with the functionality. There's one small thing that I think affects it as a track, and this is the biggest thing that I was trying to hold off the entire time. The track is incredibly short. For my, like, tolerance of what, like, makes a track that's memorable and a good Mario Kart track, it's quite short. It really is. Like, I think Luigi Circuit actually plays out pretty much the same time, if not longer than that track does. But I'm not going to hold it against it too much, because it plays out well. Honestly, using the big booster, no issue at all. The tracks were wide and allowed for some, especially at the end, allowed some snaking, which is actually good because it gives the carts a chance to actually go ahead at the end, where it's not a straightaway where bikes can just wheelie. That's a very solid thing to the functionality. So functionality for me, gonna get an 8. Replayability, would I play that track again? Would I be inclined to play that track again more often? Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. The replayability, yeah. It's just, it plays out comfortably. I feel like online races would be really intense, considering how short they are. But I feel like that shortness of the track doesn't really allow for people who are behind to really get in front. Unless they get lucky with an item, of course. It doesn't really give people a chance to catch up too much. But I'm not going to hold that against it. The replayability, I personally think, is another solid 8. So without further ado, guys, that's us done for this episode. But first, I've got to do the usual of showing you guys where everything stands at the moment. So, first off, starting with the top 5 Grand Prix you can see right before me. I mean, it's getting wild now, isn't it? We've got more Grand Prix, so many are swapping out, many are coming in, and they're getting kicked out, swapped about, moved out, and yeah, it's really interesting now that we've actually gone past the 5 Grand Prix threshold to have a top 5 that constantly changes, potentially. So you can see them all before you. Next, we're going to move on to the top 5 tracks, as you can see right here. Some of these might have moved about, there's a good opportunity for it. So you guys can see them all right here. Whoosh. They look awesome, they are awesome, and they play out just as awesome. And they make solid tracks. And without further ado, we're going to go on to the final category, which is the top 5, well, I guess, least, the bottom 5 tracks, or my top 5 least favourite tracks. And as I say every single episode, the point of the bottom 5 tracks is not entirely to say these tracks are terrible, they don't work, get them out of CTGP. It's me saying maybe they need a bit more work to be up to the standard that all of the other tracks do hold, or just a small little tweak would make the track more amazing and give it more potential than it might already have. So, you guys can see all of those on your screen right now. So with all that being said, we have recorded the entire we're done with the episode. Everything is awesome, and we are going to close the episode right here. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been awesome, and without any further ado, stay awesome, stay safe, stay yourselves, have a wonderful old day, and I'll see you all when I see you next. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.